Hello everyone, welcome to my lecture series of data structures and algorithms. I hope you have attempted the quiz on linear search and binary search and you scored well. Now in today's lecture we will study about stack, right? So what is stack? First of all, the stack is a linear data structure, right? So the elements are placed in linear manner. Secondly, it is an abstract data type. And what is abstract data type? It abstract data type only mentions what operations are to be performed, but not how these operations will be implemented. Now you'll understand it later, right? Now the third concept is here in this data structure, the ordered list, this list basically the array is ordered, right? Where insertion, that is push, and deletion, that is called as pop, are performed at the same end. So what is this push and pop? We know inserting means adding some element. So technically we call it as push in case of stack, and deletion in stack is called as pop, right? So they are performed at the same end. So both push and pop takes place at the top location. So that is why it is also called as restricted data structure, because the insertion and deletion takes place at only one end. So there is a restriction over it, over the insertion and deletion. But in case of array, you can delete any element. So for that, let's say if you want to delete any mid element or first location, last location, that can be done easily by going to the location and deleting the element, right? So in that case, array is not a restricted data structure, but your stack is restricted in nature. And it is based on the principle of FILO, first in last out, or you can also call it as LIFO, last in first out. Now let's understand this principle with the help of example. So the example is pile of plates. So you have visited marriage hall. So there when you go to the dining hall, in there so many piles of plates, 50 and hundreds of plates are placed in a sequence, right? And also if I talk about CDs, now this concept of CD is not there, but earlier when we have CDs, those CDs used to be placed in a CD stand, right? So what happens there is, so if I talk about this diagram, so this is the first plate, or you can say the CD, which is being placed. After that the second CD or plate, third, fourth, fifth, and let's say this is the last CD or plate. So when you have to take out the CD from the CD stand, you cannot take the CDs below this. You have to first take out this. Similarly, the crockery plates are being placed, and you cannot simply take out any plate in between, because if you do so, it may happen that all the plates will fall and it will break, right? So we in real life also do the same. So whatever plate is placed at the top location, we first take that plate. Then after that, when it is has been taken, now your top, this top particular pointer is used for pointing the topmost location in the stack. So we specifically use top in stack, and we also use pointer of rear and front in queue, that we will understand later. So what happens is this top value keep on decreasing once we are taking the plate one by one. So in the end, this particular top will be taken by us. But as we see the principle, what happens here is the plate which is placed on the top will be taken first. So this is called as LIFO, last in first out. So this plate was inserted in the last, but it is taken first, right? Similarly, Philo means first in, last out. So this plate was inserted first and is taken out in the last. So this was the concept of stack, which is based on LIFO or Philo. And top is the pointer which is used in stack for pointing to the topmost location, right? Now let's understand push operation with the help of example. So we have a stack whose size is 4. So first index here is 0 and the last index is size minus 1, that is 4 minus 1. In case your stack is having n elements, so your first location will be 0 and last location will be n minus 1. So the first condition here in stack is whenever your stack is empty, in that case your top will be always pointing to minus 1, right? And when you insert the first element into the stack, the top will be incremented, and similarly it will keep on incrementing after addition of every element. And once it reaches to the last location, after that if you try to insert anything into it, that will lead to the condition of overflow. Now let's understand the flow. So first, whenever you are trying to insert anything to it, first your top will be incremented by 1 and then your data will be inserted. Now let's see. Here, first your top got incremented and the data was being placed at the 0th location. Now again, if you want to insert one more element, again your top will be incremented by 1, that is 0 plus 1 is 1, and at the new location of the top the data will be pointing. So first top has to be updated. Now once your top has been updated, then your data will be added to that location. So just take care, see the animation also. First your top is getting incremented. Again now see, top got incremented by 1, 1 plus 1 is 2, and at the second location the data is being placed. Again you have to insert one more element into the stack. Again this top will be incremented by 1, that is 2 plus 1 is equal to 3, and at the third location after updation of the top the data will be added, right? So now see, first your top got incremented and then the data was being added. And as you can see that in our real life also, when you have a bucket and in that bucket you have to fill water, so you just on your tap and the water gets start filling in the bucket, and once the bucket is full and you're further trying to insert water into that when the tap is flowing water, in that case what happens, the water flows outside the bucket and it falls on the floor. This is a real example that we understand from our day-to-day life. So similarly here also in any data structure, if the capacity of the data structure is full and here the data structure is stacked, so that condition will be called as overflow. So here the condition is overflow, right? So overflow condition arises when your stack is full and you're further trying to further trying to insert any element into the stack, and it occurs when the top is pointing to size minus 1, that is n minus 1. In that case this overflow condition will arise, right? Now let's understand pop operation, which is also called as deletion. Here again we have a stack where the size is 4 and the first location is 0 and the last location is size minus 1, that is 3. Here the top is, so we can see that here the stack is full. So all the elements, or you can say data, is available in the stack, and your top will be pointing to which location? To the location where the last data is being placed, that is the third location. So here it is pointing to the third location, right? So once you delete, so in case of pop operation you have to always take care that first your data will be deleted and then your top will be decremented by 1, right? So here once I delete this data and there will be no data available here, so top will no more point to third location but it will directly shift to second location, and we have to update the top pointer. So once I delete it, so first I have deleted it and your top got decremented by 1, that is now it is pointing to second location. Again we will delete this data first and then your top will be decremented because there is no data, so it will not point to this location, and your top will be decremented by 1 and it will then point to first location. Now again once we delete the data from here as well, so in that case what happens, again your top will, the data will be first deleted and your top will be decremented by 1, that is 1 minus 1, 0. And when we delete the only element available in the stack, that is the first element, so in that case what is happening, uh, this stack will be empty and then stack will be 0 minus 1 is minus 1 and then your top will be pointing to minus 1, and this condition is when the stack is empty. So whenever your top is pointing to minus 1, it means the stack is empty, and when your top is pointing to size minus 1, then it is the last location of the given stack, right? And when your stack is empty and you're further trying to delete anything, which is not possible, so a condition of underflow arises, right? So we can see here that the topmost element which was inserted in the last was deleted first, and the first element which was inserted in the first was deleted in the last. So this was the principle of Philo, first LIFO and Philo, both explained in insertion and deletion, right? Now coming to the different stack operations. So there are some fundamental operations on stack that we will understand now. The first is push. So push, we have understood, push means inserting some data into the stack, and we have to also provide the data. So there is a parameter for this push operation where we will be providing the data. So first we will be given some top location also, and we will first increment the top value. by 1, and then at the new location we will be inserting the data, right? The second operation, that is called as pop operation, which is also called as deletion. Here you will be given a top where the top will be pointing to some element and top will be pointing to some index where some element has been placed. So first you will delete that particular data and then only your top will decrement by 1. So pop operation is used for deletion. Third operation is peek, or you can also call this peek means top, right? So it returns the topmost element of the stack without deleting it. So please understand this point. In case of push, you are adding some element into the stack, so the pointer is getting increased. In pop, the element is being deleted. Again, your top pointer is getting decremented. And here in both the cases, here the data is being added and here the data is deleted. But in peek or top operation, it will simply give the location where the last element is being placed. So it is pointing to the topmost element, but it is not going to delete the element. It will simply tell the location of the element. And fourth operation is empty. This operation helps us in returning true if the stack is empty. So is empty means it is asking a question whether the stack is empty. If it is empty, then it will return true, which means that stack is empty. And if it is returning false, then it means that stack is not empty. Again, we have one more operation, that is full, which says that it is asking a question, right? Is it full? Is the stack full? If you get an answer yes, it means true. It means the stack is full. And if the answer returned is false, it means is full? No, the stack is not full. So now we will also understand the implementation of stack here, how we are going to implement the stack. So first method is with the help of the array, right? And in array, we all know that the memory size is fixed, and that is why it is also called as static. So first method is static implementation with the help of array, where the size of the array will be fixed. So we will be initially, when we will be declaring the array, we will initialize the some basic amount of space. Let's say if I fix the size for 10 elements, so we can only insert 10 elements into the stack. So that's why the memory is fixed. So we are taking some random amount of memory which will be used for the operations on stack. Second is by using the linked list. And we all know that in linked list, we can go to any particular location in the memory which is free. So we are getting the memory by the operating system at the runtime, and that is why it is dynamic in nature. We are not aware what will be the next address. It will be decided by the operating system, and it will be giving us the location, and we will simply go to the location and we will insert the element over there. And we will understand both these concepts with the help of array and linked list. And I will be uploading a video on implementation of stack using linked list. Once we are clear with the concept of linked list, then only you will understand it. So just wait for that also, because if you don't implement the stack with the help of array and linked list, there is no point of understanding stack. Just by theoretically understanding the concept, if you are a computer science student, is not going to pay much, right? So I suggest all of you that from now onwards, whatever algorithm I'm teaching you, please understand it well, make your notes. But after that, once your concepts are clear and I upload a video on implementation, so you also implement it and then try to understand how the implementation results are being shown. Because in placements, data structure and algorithm is the most important subject, and there they will be asking you, so they will be giving you some problem, and for that you have to write the algorithm. And also they can say that you are given this problem, so you have to simply implement it with the help of any language. It can be C, it can be Python, Java, whatever you like, but you have to be very good in one language with the help of which you can implement the data structures. So please, again, I'm repeating, the implementation of the data structure is very, very important. If you are studying this course, it is must. So that was all about the introduction of stack. If you have any query, please post your queries in the comment box. In the next lecture, we will study about push operation, or you can also call it as insertion in stack. Till then, stay tuned to my channel and wait for my next video. Thank you so much.